Letting go of regrets means embracing the fact that you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. You cannot judge your past actions with the wisdom you have today, because at the time you were doing the best you could with what you knew. It's easy to look back and think that you should have known better, but hindsight is always 20/20. The key is not to dwell on what you didn't know, but to use what you've learned to make better decisions moving forward. In every mistake, there is an opportunity for growth. Every regret is a stepping stone, not a roadblock. But if you continue to focus on what went wrong, you miss the opportunity to take what you've learned and apply it to the present. The more you focus on what you could have done differently, the more you distract yourself from what you can do now. The only moment that matters is the one you are in right now. The past is gone, and no amount of regret can bring it back. What you can do, however, is choose to learn from it, to grow from it, and to use that knowledge to make better choices in the future. When you let go of regret, you free yourself from the prison of the past. You release the emotional weight that is holding you back and make room for new opportunities to arise. You allow yourself the space to make new mistakes, to try new things, and to create the life you want. But as long as you are shackled by the past, you will never be able to fully embrace the future. The past is over, it is no longer yours to carry. The only thing that matters now is what you choose to do today, in this moment. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in the process of letting go of regret. You must forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, just as you would forgive anyone else who had wronged you. Holding on to regret is a form of self-punishment. And it is an act of unkindness toward yourself. You deserve the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to others. When you forgive yourself, you acknowledge that you are human, that you are fallible, and that your mistakes do not define you. Forgiveness frees you to move forward, to create the life you desire, and to let go of the emotional burden of regret. The path to letting go of regrets is not always easy, but it is possible. It requires you to embrace the idea that perfection is not the goal. Life is a journey, not a destination. Every misstep, every failure, and every setback is simply part of the process. They are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. The more you let go of the need to be perfect, the more you open yourself up to the possibility of creating something better. You do not have to be defined by your past mistakes. You have the power to choose who you will become today and every day moving forward. Regret will always be a temptation, a voice that whispers to you from the past. But you have the power to ignore it, to tell it that it no longer has a place in your life. You have the ability to take your mistakes and turn them into lessons, to release the emotional hold they have on you, and to step boldly into the future. Let go of regret, and let the past remain where it belongs behind you. Your future is waiting, and it is yours to create. The present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone, and the future remains a mystery. Yet we often find ourselves trapped between these two realms, either lingering on what's already happened or obsessing over what's yet to come. We waste precious energy dwelling on past regrets or anxiously planning for a future that's not guaranteed. But the power, the real power of the hour, lies right here, right now in the present. The truth is that everything we need to create the life we want is available to us in this very moment. The challenge is learning to fully embrace the present, to let go of distractions, and to realize that this moment is the only one that matters. We spend so much time caught up in the illusion that the future will bring us the fulfillment, happiness, or success we desire. We think that once we reach a certain milestone, whether it's a promotion, a relationship, a material possession, or a personal achievement, then, and only then, will we feel complete. We tie our happiness to an outcome, believing that once we attain it, we will be free from the struggles and limitations we face. But the truth is, the future never truly arrives in the way we imagine it. When we reach that milestone, there's always another one to strive for, and the cycle continues. The problem is that by focusing so much on a future that is uncertain, we miss out on the richness of the present moment. The power of the present lies in its simplicity. It's easy to overlook the small, everyday moments that make up our lives. We are so focused on what's next that we fail to recognize the beauty and potential of now. In this moment, we have the ability to think, to choose, to act. Right here, right now, we can change the course of our lives, but only if we are fully present. We can create joy, peace, and abundance in the present, because the power to do so resides in the choices we make today. When we constantly look to the future or reflect on the past, we are robbing ourselves of the chance to experience life in its fullest form. The past is already gone, and there is nothing we can do to change it. The future is not yet here, and there is no guarantee of what it will bring. But right now, we are alive. Right now, we have the ability to choose how we want to feel, how we want to act, and what we want to create in our lives. There is nothing more powerful than being fully present in this moment, with the awareness that we are in control of our thoughts and actions. One of the greatest challenges we face is learning to let go of our attachment to the past and future. We are conditioned to think that we need to plan ahead, to prepare for what's coming, or to hold on to what has already been. But when we hold on to the past, we are carrying unnecessary baggage that weighs us down. When we constantly worry about the future, we create stress and anxiety that prevent us from fully engaging in the present. The truth is that the present moment is all we can control. The past is beyond our reach, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly have is now. By being present, we tap into a wellspring of creativity, energy, and focus that allows us to achieve what we truly desire. When we are fully engaged in the present, we are able to see opportunities that we might otherwise miss. We become more aware of our surroundings, more attuned to our intuition, and more able to take inspired action. The present moment is where all creativity flows, where ideas emerge, where solutions appear, and where new possibilities unfold. When we choose to be present, we open ourselves up to the flow of life, to the magic that exists in each moment. In the present moment, there is no room for regret or worry. The past and future are mental constructs that only exist in our minds. When we are focused on the present, we are free from the weight of past mistakes and the anxiety of future uncertainties. We stop dwelling on what went wrong or what might go wrong, and instead we focus on what we can do right now. The power of the present moment allows us to break free from the chains of the past and the fears of the future, and it gives us the freedom to be who we truly are. When we cultivate a deep awareness of the present, we begin to realize how much we take for granted. We start to appreciate the simple things: the sound of birds singing, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the taste of our food, the joy of spending time with loved ones. These are the moments that make life rich and meaningful. But when we are lost in thought, distracted by worries or regrets, we miss out on these precious moments. The power of the present is in its ability to connect us to the beauty and fullness of life that is available to us right now. Living in the present also allows us to tap into our deepest sense of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. When we are present, we are able to fully appreciate the abundance that already exists in our lives. We stop waiting for something better to come along and begin to recognize that everything we need to be happy, fulfilled, and successful is already here. The present moment is where our sense of gratitude grows, where we can acknowledge the blessings we already have and cultivate a deeper sense of joy in the now. Being present doesn't mean that we abandon our goals or aspirations for the future. It simply means that we recognize that the only way to reach those goals is through the actions we take today. Our dreams and desires can only be realized through the choices we make in the present. When we are present, we make decisions based on clarity and awareness rather than on fear or uncertainty. The future may be shaped by our actions today, but the key to success is in how we choose to show up in the present moment. In every moment, we are faced with the opportunity to decide who we will be and how we will respond to the world around us. Will we be driven by fear, by old habits, or by past experiences? Or will we choose to embrace the present, to take inspired action, and to create the future we desire? The power lies in the present. The decisions we make today determine the life we will live tomorrow. The present is the canvas, and we are the artists, painting our reality with every thought, every word, every action. The present moment is where transformation happens. It is where we can shift our mindset, let go of limiting beliefs, and embrace new possibilities. It's in the present that we can decide to be more patient, more compassionate, more focused, or more resilient. Every moment offers us a chance to evolve, to grow, to become a better version of ourselves. When we choose to be present, we step into our power, recognizing that our future is shaped not by what happened before, but by what we do now. The power of the present also lies in its ability to heal. When we are fully engaged in the present, we give ourselves the space to heal from past wounds. We stop replaying the stories of hurt, disappointment, and failure, and instead we focus on the possibilities of the present. Healing happens when we let go of the past, when we forgive ourselves and others, and when we choose to be present with our emotions, our thoughts, and our bodies. In the present, we have the power to transform pain into growth, to turn setbacks into opportunities, and to heal wounds that have held us back for far too long. The present moment is a gift, and it is all that we have. It is where life unfolds, where we have the ability to choose, to create, and to experience. When we choose to embrace the present, we step into our power and unlock the potential that lies within us. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. But right now, we have the power to make a difference. Right now, we have the power to create the life we want, to be who we want to be, and to do what we want to do. The power lies in the present. You are not your past. It does not define you. It does not determine who you are or dictate what you can become. Yet, how often do we allow the past to shape our identity? How many times do we look back at the mistakes we made, the failures we endured, the pain we suffered, and allow it to cloud our present, casting a shadow over who we are and what we can accomplish? It is easy to get caught up in the story of who we were and forget that the story is not over. It is easy to allow the weight of our past to limit our potential, to trap us in a narrative that no longer serves us. We all have a past. It is a collection of experiences, some of which we wish we could forget, and others we hold onto with pride. But here's the truth: your past is not who you are. It is simply a series of events that have already occurred, and it is not an indication of your worth or your future. Too many people hold on to their past like they are shackles that bind them. They look at their history and think that it defines their destiny, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The past is a teacher, but it is not the authority on your life. The past is a graveyard. It holds the bones of what once was, and it cannot be resurrected. Too many of you are living in the shadows of yesterday, dragging around burdens that no longer serve you. You are haunted by the decisions you've made, the mistakes you've suffered, and the dreams that never came to fruition. But here's the truth: the past is dead. It cannot breathe life into you. It cannot propel you forward. The past is a dead weight, and you've been carrying it as if it still has power. The moments that are gone, the things that have passed, are not coming back. Holding on to them only keeps you stuck. You're giving life to what's already been buried. Understand this: your future is not in the past. Your future is in the present moment. The power to move forward, to change, to create the life you want, it lies in today. You have to stop mourning what's dead. You can't revive it with your tears, your regrets, or your anger. Let it stay where it belongs, behind you. You are not the person you were yesterday. You are not the sum of your failures, your losses, or your heart actions. You are the result of what you choose to become today. The key to your success, to your freedom, is in your hands right now, but it will remain locked if you keep looking backward. Let the past stay buried. Do not drag it with you, for it will only serve to weigh you down, distract you, and keep you from seeing the opportunities ahead. Look ahead. The present is where your power lies, and the future is where your potential awaits. Every step you take away from the past is a step toward the life you were meant to live, so take that step today. The past is dead, let it stay there. The past is a graveyard, a place where memories lie in stillness, never to rise again. It is a place that holds what was once alive, vibrant, and full of possibilities, but now those moments are nothing more than the remnants of history. There are many of us who, for one reason or another, continue to live in that graveyard. We look back at the past with longing, with regret, with sorrow, or even with anger. We allow our minds to revisit old wounds and failures, hoping somehow that by doing so, we might find some sense of redemption, some way to change what has already been done. But the truth is simple: the past cannot be resurrected. It is dead, and the longer we cling to it, the more it holds us captive. When we are young, we are taught that we should learn from our mistakes. This is good advice. Learning from the past is crucial for growth. However, the problem arises when we allow ourselves to become so consumed by what has already happened that it starts to define us. The past is no longer a teacher or a guide. It becomes a weight that keeps us from moving forward. We start to see ourselves as the sum of our failures, our past mistakes, and our regrets. We believe that because something went wrong in the past, it will always go wrong in the future. We define ourselves by our past decisions, failures, and missed opportunities, thinking that these are the only truths that matter. But this is not the reality. The past is a graveyard, and if we continue to dwell in it, we will never be able to experience the fullness of life that is waiting for us in the present. Every day is a chance for a new beginning, a fresh start. But this opportunity is often clouded by our attachment to the past. We waste our energy looking backward, ruminating on things we cannot change, instead of focusing on what we can do right now. The moment we allow ourselves to focus on what has already happened, we lose the power of the present, and the present is where all true power lies. The past is not a place to live, it is a place to learn from, to reflect upon, and then to leave behind. The longer we remain in the graveyard of yesterday, the harder it becomes to see the opportunities that lie in front of us. It is human nature to want to make sense of the past. We want to understand why things happened the way they did, why certain decisions led to certain outcomes. We search for meaning in the events of our lives, trying to piece together the puzzle of our existence. But in doing so, we often fall into a trap. We start to think that understanding the past will somehow make it easier to move forward. We believe that if we can just figure out what went wrong, we will be able to prevent it from happening again. But the reality is that the past, no matter how much we try to analyze it, will never change. What has happened has happened. No amount of reflection, no amount of regret will alter the course of history. The only thing that can change is how we respond to the present and the future. The past can be a prison if we allow it to be. It keeps us chained to old versions of ourselves, versions that are no longer relevant to who we are or who we want to become. We are constantly reminded of our failures, our missed opportunities, and our past mistakes. We believe that we are somehow cursed by our history, destined to repeat the same patterns over and over again. But the truth is that we have the power to break free from that cycle. We do not have to be defined by what has already happened. We can choose to let go of the past and step into the person we are meant to be. This is not to say that the past has no value. The experiences we go through in life shape us, teach us, and prepare us for what is to come. We learn from the mistakes we make, the challenges we face, and the obstacles we overcome. But once that lesson is learned, it is time to move on. The past is not a place for us to live in, it is a place to leave behind once we have gained the wisdom we need. If we continue to hold on to the past, we become stuck in a cycle of regret and frustration. We become prisoners of our own memories, unable to break free and move forward. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting it. It does not mean erasing the pain, the mistakes, or the losses we have experienced. It means accepting them for what they are, part of our story, but not the whole story. It means recognizing that what has happened cannot be undone, but what is to come can still be shaped by our actions today. The past is no longer a part of our future unless we allow it to be. Every moment we spend focusing on what was, we lose the opportunity to focus on what is and what will be. We must learn to detach ourselves from the past. We must stop carrying around the heavy burden of guilt, regret, and anger. These emotions are like chains that keep us anchored to a life we no longer live. We must recognize that the past is a chapter that has already been written, and we have the power to write the next chapter however we choose. We cannot change the past, but we can change how we respond to it. We can choose to let go of the pain, the mistakes, and the disappointments and step into the freedom that comes with embracing the present moment. This is not always easy. Letting go of the past requires courage. It requires the willingness to face our fears, to let go of old identities, and to step into the unknown. It means accepting that we cannot control everything, and that sometimes the best way to move forward is to release what is no longer serving us. But the freedom that comes from this release is worth the struggle. Once we free ourselves from the past, we open ourselves up to the full potential of our future. The past can no longer dictate who we are or who we can become. We are free to create a new story, one that is filled with hope, possibility, and the power to create the life we want. The past is a graveyard, and it is time to bury it once and for all. Stop living in the shadows of what has already been and start living in the light of what is yet to come. The opportunities are here waiting for you. The future is full of promise, full of new beginnings, and full of the potential to become the person you were always meant to be. But you cannot step into that future if you are still clinging to the past. Let it go. Let the past stay where it belongs, behind you. Embrace the present moment and step boldly into the life that awaits you. Regret is a heavy burden, a weight that seems to carry more and more with each passing day. It's a chain that binds you to the mistakes of your past, reminding you over and over again of what could have been, of what you should have done, of what you failed to achieve. It keeps you in a loop of self-blame, robbing you of the power to move forward. We all have regrets. We all have mistakes that we wish we could undo, decisions we wish we had made differently. But here's the truth: regret serves no purpose in your life unless you choose to let it. It has no power to change what has happened, and it cannot create anything new for your future. The key to moving forward lies in your ability to let go of regrets and mistakes, to release the hold they have over you, and to embrace the reality that the only thing you can control is the present moment. Too often we dwell on the past, allowing it to define who we are. We look back at missed opportunities and wrong turns, and we wonder how different our lives could be if we had just made a different choice. But this is where we go wrong. We begin to identify with our mistakes as if they are an indelible part of our identity. We become convinced that because we made mistakes, we are somehow flawed, unworthy, or incapable of success. We let those mistakes become our story, a story that is based not on who we are, but on who we were in that moment of failure. But the truth is, you are not your mistakes. You are not the sum of your regrets. You are a person who has the ability to learn, to grow, to evolve. Every mistake is an opportunity for growth, not a mark of permanent failure. The beauty of life is that we can make mistakes, learn from them, and use them as stepping stones to greater success. Regret, however, keeps us stuck in the past, preventing us from seeing the lessons in our failures and hindering us from moving forward. Regret is a form of self-punishment. It's a way of holding on to something that can never be undone. The energy you waste on regret could be better spent on creating something new, something better. But when you hold on to regret, you are choosing to remain in the past. You are choosing to remain in a place where things are already over, a place where nothing can be changed. It's like trying to change the direction of a river with your hands, or wishing for a storm to disappear by looking at the sky. Regret is an exercise in futility. It cannot change the past, and it cannot give you a better future. The only thing that regret does is take away your power in the present moment. Every time you allow regret to seep into your thoughts, you are giving away a piece of your energy. You are draining yourself of the power that is meant to create your future. When you are caught up in regret, you are not fully present in the here and now. You are not using the energy of this moment to build, to act, to create. Instead, you are trapped in the ghost of what has already happened, allowing it to drain your vitality and stop you from taking the steps that will lead you forward. The real key to letting go of regret is to understand that there is no such thing as a perfect path. Life is messy, unpredictable, and filled with twists and turns. You are not meant to have everything figured out from the start. You are not meant to always make the right decisions or take the perfect steps every time. Mistakes are part of the human experience. They are the signposts on the road of growth, guiding you toward the wisdom you need to become the person you are meant to become. What if instead of looking at your mistakes with regret, you chose to look at them with gratitude? What if you saw each mistake as a lesson, a gift that showed you something about yourself or about the world around you? Every time you fail, you gain insight. Every time you make a wrong decision, you learn what not to do next time. This is how growth happens. This is how you become wiser, stronger, more resilient. But you cannot see these lessons if you are too busy beating yourself up over what could have been. The past, in its most raw and honest form, is a series of lessons. Each experience, whether good or bad, holds valuable information that can help us grow. But when we let those experiences define us, we lose sight of who we are and what we are capable of. We become prisoners to the story we've been telling ourselves about who we once were. We believe that because we made a mistake in the past, we are forever defined by it. We believe that because we failed at something, we are failures. We convince ourselves that because we experience pain, we are destined to live in that pain forever. But none of this is true. The truth is that you are not the mistakes you made. You are not the pain you experienced. You are not the failures you endured. You are not your past. You are who you choose to be today. The person you are right now in this moment is who you are, not who you were, not who you could have been. The power lies in the present. And it is in the present moment that you have the ability to rewrite your story. When we hold on to the past, we allow it to dictate our future. We tell ourselves that we can't succeed because of what happened before. We tell ourselves that we aren't worthy of love, success, or happiness because of the mistakes we made or the things we endured. But that is simply not the case. The past is a series of events that we can learn from, not something that must forever define our actions. We have the power to break free from the chains of the past and redefine our identity. We all have a choice in how we move forward. The past may have shaped us, but it does not have to control us. The power to change our lives is in our hands, and that change begins the moment we stop identifying with our past. When we stop using our past as an excuse to stay stuck. When we stop believing that we are prisoners to the mistakes and misfortunes we've endured, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We allow ourselves the freedom to create a future that is not bound by the mistakes or circumstances of yesterday. One of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is to forgive. Not just others, but ourselves. We often find it easy to forgive others for their wrongdoings, but when it comes to ourselves, we hold on to guilt, shame, and regret. We punish ourselves over and over for the things we wish we could change, but the truth is, holding on to those feelings doesn't serve us. It keeps us tied to a past that no longer exists. We cannot change what has happened, but we can change how we respond to it. We can choose to let go of the guilt and the shame, and we can choose to move forward. Letting go of the past means accepting that we are not our mistakes. It means recognizing that we are not defined by the challenges we've faced or the people we've been in the past. We are not our failures. We are not the sum total of our disappointments. We are so much more than that. We are capable of growth, of change, of becoming the best version of ourselves. But that change begins when we stop identifying with who we once were and start focusing on who we are becoming. So how do we move beyond the past and step into a brighter future? First, we must begin by changing our mindset. We must stop seeing ourselves through the lens of our past experiences and start seeing ourselves as we truly are powerful, capable, and full of potential. We must stop using our past as an excuse for why we can't move forward. We must stop believing that the things that happen to us define us. The truth is, we get to choose who we are every single day. Every moment is an opportunity to step into the person we are becoming. Every action we take, every decision we make is a chance to create a new future, a new identity, and a new life. Moving beyond the past requires courage. It requires the courage to face the things that we've been avoiding, the things that have been holding us back. It requires the courage to look at our past with honesty and acceptance, and then to let go of it. It takes courage to forgive ourselves and to stop beating ourselves up over things that happened years ago. But with that courage comes freedom. The freedom to let go of what no longer serves us. The freedom to create a future that is no longer dictated by our past. It is also important to recognize that the past is a collection of experiences, and we have the ability to reframe those experiences. Instead of seeing the past as a series of failures and disappointments, we can choose to see it as a series of lessons and opportunities for growth. Every challenge we faced, every setback we encountered, taught us something valuable. We can learn from those lessons and use them to create a brighter future. The past is not something to be feared or regretted. It is something to be embraced for the wisdom it offers. When we stop identifying with our past, we open ourselves up to the possibility of reinvention. We can choose to let go of old beliefs, old habits, and old patterns that no longer serve us. We can choose to be the person we've always wanted to be, not the person we've been in the past. The power to change is within us, but it begins when we let go of the idea that we are our past. We are not our mistakes, we are not our failures, and we are not our regrets. We are not our regrets. We are not our past, we are the future we are creating right now. The most important thing to remember is that you have the power to change your story. Your past is not a reflection of who you are, nor is it a predictor of your future. You are the author of your life, and every day is a new page in that story. The choice is yours. You can continue to live in the shadow of your past, or you can break free and step into a new chapter. The power lies in your hands. You are not your past. You are the person you choose to become. Moving forward is not just about putting one foot in front of the other. It's not simply about continuing on a path because it's the easiest thing to do. Moving forward requires intention, clarity, and a deep understanding of who you are and where you are going. It is not an automatic process, nor is it without challenge. Moving forward means overcoming the weight of fear, doubt, and hesitation. It means letting go of what no longer serves you and embracing the potential for something greater. The act of moving forward is an essential part of the human experience. Life, by its very nature, is a continuous flow of moments, each one leading into the next. We cannot live in the past, nor can we stand still in the present. The forward movement is what keeps us growing, evolving, and stepping closer to who we are meant to become. Every single day offers us a new opportunity to move forward, to make progress, to grow, and to become more than we were yesterday. But in order to truly move forward, we must first acknowledge that the past is a place for reflection, not for residence. We cannot live in the mistakes we've made, the failures we've endured, or the pain we've suffered. The past cannot be the driving force behind our future. It can only serve as a lesson, a reminder of what we have learned and how far we've come. We have a tendency to look back at what we have gone through and let it define who we are and what we can do. We let the things that happened to us in the past shape our current identity. We let our failures, our disappointments, and our past appointments and our past choices dictate the choices we make in the present. But if we allow the past to have that kind of power over us, we remain stuck. We cannot move forward when we are tethered to the mistakes, regrets, and hard actions of yesterday. Moving forward means embracing the idea that we are not defined by our past, no matter how painful or challenging it may have been. It means understanding that the mistakes we've made, the people we've lost, the hardships we've faced, none of these things have to define who we are now. We are not our failures. We are not the sum of our mistakes. The person we are today is not the person we were yesterday, nor will we be the same tomorrow. We are constantly evolving, learning and growing. And this forward movement is what gives us the power to change our future. It is easy to become attached to the past, to allow it to weigh us down with regret, guilt, or shame. But this kind of attachment serves no purpose other than to keep us stuck in a place of stagnation. When we hold on too tightly to the past, we are unable to fully embrace the present, let alone move into the future. The weight of what we've been through can paralyze us, making it difficult to take that first step forward. But we must understand that the past is gone, it cannot be changed, and it certainly cannot be the thing that determines our future. The key to moving forward is forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Forgiveness does not mean excusing the things that have happened to us or minimizing the pain we've experienced. Forgiveness is not about saying that everything that has happened is okay. It is about releasing the hold that these past events have on us. Forgiveness is about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that keeps us chained to yesterday. When we forgive, we free ourselves to move forward with clarity, peace, and purpose. We let go of the resentment, anger, and hurt that have kept us in a state of emotional paralysis. And when we forgive ourselves, we release the self-imposed chains that have prevented us from growing and moving on. Moving forward also requires courage. It takes courage to let go of what no longer serves us, to step into the unknown, to face the future without fear or hesitation. It takes courage to take that first step when the road ahead is uncertain. It takes courage to leave behind the comfort of the past, even when the future is unclear. The future is always filled with uncertainty, but it is in that uncertainty that we find the potential for growth. The unknown is not a threat to be feared, it is a space for new possibilities to unfold. But we can only experience those possibilities if we are willing to move forward. One of the most important aspects of moving forward is having a clear sense of purpose. When we are driven by purpose, we are motivated to keep going no matter how difficult the journey may be. Purpose provides direction, and without direction, we can easily become lost in the maze of life. Having a sense of purpose gives us something to strive toward, something to hold on to when the going gets tough. It allows us to stay focused and committed to the journey, even when it feels like progress is slow or the obstacles are too great. Purpose is not something that is handed to us. It is something that we must create, something we must discover within ourselves. It is a reflection of who we are and what we value. It is the driving force behind our actions, the reason we wake up each day and move forward. When we are aligned with our purpose, we move forward with clarity and determination. We know where we are going and why. And no matter what happens along the way, we remain steadfast in our commitment to that purpose. But moving forward is not always easy. The path to progress is often fraught with obstacles. Life is unpredictable. And sometimes we are faced with challenges that seem insurmountable. But it is in those moments of difficulty that we find the true strength of our character. It is in those moments of struggle that we discover our resilience, our ability to rise above adversity, and our capacity to keep moving forward no matter what. The key is to keep going, even when it seems impossible. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Every challenge overcome is a triumph. And it is through these challenges that we grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing the future. The act of moving forward is not just about taking action. It is also about mindset. Our mindset plays a critical role in our ability to move forward. If we believe that we are stuck, that we are incapable of change, or that the obstacles ahead are too great to overcome, we will remain paralyzed. But if we shift our mindset, if we begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, setbacks as stepping stones, and failures as lessons, we will be empowered to move forward with confidence and strength. The journey forward requires patience. It requires understanding that progress takes time and that not everything will happen overnight. Moving forward does not mean rushing ahead or forcing things to happen. It means trusting the process and having faith that every step, every decision, every challenge is leading us to where we are meant to be. Patience is a reminder that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. The lessons we learn, the growth we experience, and the person we become along the way are just as valuable as the goals we achieve. We must also recognize that moving forward does not mean abandoning the past entirely. The past has shaped us and it has provided us with valuable lessons. Moving forward is not about erasing those lessons or pretending that the past never happened. It is about learning from the past and using it to guide us toward a brighter future. We are not defined by our past, but we are certainly influenced by it. The key is not to let it control us, but to allow it to serve as a foundation upon which we build our future. Ultimately, moving forward is about embracing the possibility of transformation. It is about stepping into the unknown with hope, courage, and a sense of purpose. It is about accepting that change is inevitable and that growth is a continuous process. We will face setbacks, we will encounter difficulties, and we will experience moments of doubt. But we must continue to move forward, knowing that every step brings us closer to who we are meant to be and where we are meant to go. The future is full of endless possibilities, but those possibilities can only be realized if we are willing to move forward. The choice is ours to stay where we are or to take that step forward and embrace the journey ahead.